How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is part one of a three-part series for my top mods, starting with vehicles. If we go to the buy menu, we look here under vehicles. I'm going to start and show each and every category, and in each category I'm going to show my favorite mod for that category, starting with small tractors. And this, before I get going, this is going to be limited to just mods. Anything that is a DLC or base game, anything like that, is not going to make this list, and it's also going to have the caveat of only mods that are within the bounds of realism or has a setting that will allow it to be within the realm of realism. So if there's a mod, let's say a tractor with, you know, 50,000 horsepower capacity, it doesn't exist. I'm just saying those will be disqualified from the list, even if I may like to use them or not. We're going to go with mods that are at minimum have a setting of realism. So, starting with the small tractors, my favorite mod for the small tractors is this one here, the John Deere 6300. Now, I must give a caveat, because I'm sure just by pointing this out, it's going to send some people scratching their heads. It's like, well, why this one? There's this mod, there's that mod, there's 100. I like, when it comes to tractors and when it comes to certain sets of equipment, what I tend to look for that allows me to kind of gravitate towards those being my favorite is price and the amount of horsepower and the kind of utility that is available with that specific mod. Now, there may be others I'm not aware of. These are just ones that I've kind of grown into using over the years, and specifically on FS22. So, the John Deere 6300. Why do I like this tractor? Its starting price is next to nothing. Look at that, $15,500. This is part of the John Deere 6300 mod set, or mod pack, I should say. You can see down there at the very bottom, John Deere 6300. You can have either 100 or 105 horsepower, somewhere in that range, and its top speed is 19 miles an hour. So it's not a fast tractor, but for the price, you get a very good amount of horsepower. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, very nice, clean model, very nice. You can have a set of weights up in the front. You can increase the engine size between 100 and 105. And you have an assortment of wheels, you know, this typical trailer bar, Continental, Midas, BKT, so on and so forth. Different wheel types. Then you have designs. You can change the exhaust. You can also change the amount of weight that is on there, get it up to 6.3 tons. That's pretty nice. You can have a John Deere front loader attacher, and you can change the color of the seat. Very cool. And that's it. It's a very basic mod, but for 15,000, or in this case you can see I got it up to 18,500. That's still, for less than $20,000, you have a new tractor. You're gonna struggle to find a tractor in the discount section of the buying menu for $20,000. This one, you got it for 18,500. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love this tractor. Now, under medium tractors, it is this, the Lizard 17221. For $45,000, you can have, or starting, you can have a tractor with 180 horsepower up to 240 horsepower, and it drives 27 miles an hour. Now, you'll see a kind of recurring theme that because these are older tractors, and again, what I'm looking for and what I gravitate towards are those tractors that are cheaper, that have power, and have functionality. Now, this is an articulating tractor. You can see how it kind of has that hinge in the middle of it. But you can convert it for a front PTO. You can get it up to 240 horsepower. You can have wheel weights. Twins, back to standard. I mean, that's awesome. And then you can have just a different looking mudguard. But you can see, very, very nice mod. Very, I mean, again, very nicely made. It looks very clean. It looks like a typical old tractor. Very boxy, very squared. But hey, I mean, me personally, I kind of like that look. Oh, you know what? One thing I wanted to do is I wanted to buy these as I was going along. There we go. You can see them right down there. Now, whoops, under large tractors, my favorite mod would be the Case Steiger Quad Track, the Case IH Steiger Quad Track mod, but there's a little bit of funny business with this one. There's nothing to do with unrealistic settings or anything like that, but it's almost as if there's a connector, a 3-point attachment connector in the rear of the tractor that just is invisible, and either it's supposed to be there, it's not supposed to be there, or it's supposed to be a setting that's activated, or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to leave it out of this list, but if that gets fixed or if that gets removed, whatever the case may be, then this will take the place of this, the John Deere 9X20 for $109,000, almost $110,000 starting. You can have a 280 horsepower tractor up to a 500 horsepower tractor. 24 miles an hour for this thing to get up to. And check this out, we're going to go ahead and buy it as is. You can have it with a rock box, you can increase it to 325 horsepower, 375, 425, 450, 500, and look at that, the price $167,000, 168. I mean, that's a brilliant price for a 500 horsepower tractor. You're spending less than 200 grand. Awesome. Wheels, you can choose between having singles with weights, doubles with weights, additional weights, even different combination of weights, triples, and so on and so forth. You can have a different tip on your exhaust. You can also include a 90-degree turn. You can have different versions of the tractor, 2001 to 2005 or 2006 to 2007. Attachers, you can have 3-point, standard, PTO, and 3-point. You can have Green Star. It doesn't do anything for us console players, either the old or the new version. Beacon lights, you can have single or double. Version, you can have a US or a standard Aussie, Aussie extended, EU, back to standard. So very customizable mod. You can use it pretty much for any kind of gameplay location that you're trying to do. It's just, again, another great mod and another articulating tractor. So if you're not a big fan of articulating tractors, this one might not be the one for you, but I certainly like it. Under trucks, my favorite here will be from the TLX Phoenix series, the TLX Phoenix D60, that Detroit diesel. Love it. Check that out. Very nice, very clean looking mod. Now, what I'll typically do is get it in this configuration with the coffin sleeper. Now, this one is kind of one of those gray areas because it does appear to have settings that are beyond realism. I don't think 1,582 horsepower is a realistic setting for a tractor trailer like this. I could be wrong about that. I'm not an expert on the horsepower capacities of a huge semi-truck like this. But with all the other vehicles that we have in game and whatnot, about 500 horsepower is the limit, and now you can get it down to the what appears to be a more reasonable size. You can have different specs like the Black Bell, Copperhead, Silver B, back to standard. You can have different types of mud guards, decals. You can have the Wyoming cowboy there. You can have the Houston. I mean, just different kind of decals that you can have for your vehicle. You can have side markers. You can even have underglow lights if you choose. Bumpers. Let's go in the opposite direction. You can see a really nice beefy bumper. You can do different mirrors with a bow tie on it. You can do a forestry rack, or you can do my personal favorite, this one here, rack with emergency bar. That's nice. You can have different style of exhaust between US double and Canada double. You can also have different style of exhausts and different colors. Just, again, an amazing mod with a range of capacity and less than $100,000 for the setting I have it right now. But if we get it down to its biggest setting, you can see still it's less than 133,000 for an almost 1,600 horsepower vehicle. Again, not realistic setting, but tone it back a little bit to a more realistic setting and you're good to go. Now, under harvesters, again, what I tend to gravitate towards: price, capacity for harvesters, and usefulness. What can it do in addition to just kind of base stuff? And this one here does it for me. The Case Axle Flow 4-wheel drive. It's under the Case IH Axle Flow US series mod, and this one starts out at $69,990. And this is why I really like this mod. So at its bare basic, 69,000, almost 70 grand. You can have a larger hopper for, instead of 7,000 liters base, you can have 10,219, or the bigger one, 12,219. That's pretty good size, and you're still only $72,000. Then you start talking about engine sizes: 285. There we go. 300. That was 305. Yeah, 305 is the highest one you can get up to. So there's different versions, and you can see it basically just changes the decals until you get to this, where you get up to 305 horsepower. Now, you can also get different wheels, different wheel types, logos. You can have the 35 rotary leadership. I think that's 35 years is what that says. And then axle flow. You can have side protectors. So you see those kind of, they almost look like mesh grating on the side of it. You can remove it and expose some of the hosing and pumps and all that stuff. And you can see on this side, you can really expose it to see all the pulleys that are involved on this. Lots of pulleys going on there. Or you can put it back on. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. You can have a standard auger. You can have a long auger. You can change the colors. You can do pretty much everything that the main harvester can do. And guess what? For less than $75,000, you have yourself a harvester that has a 12,000 liter capacity. Awesome. Excellent. Forage harvesters. This one belongs to the class Jaguar 695. $60,000. A perfect starting price for somebody looking for a forage harvester. This is under the class Jaguar 695 pack, or the mod name. And you can see here we can have a 316 horsepower, 326, 342, 410, and back to 316. Different wheel brands, different types of wheels. You can have additional weights, and a silage tank. A 80 liter silage tank can be added to this. But it's perfect for somebody who's just starting out, who wants to do a bunch of silage, maybe turn a bunch of corn into silage, or into chaff, and then chaff into silage. It's a great starter. Great starter. And personally, I think it's followed directly behind it is this one here, the class Jaguar 820 and 880. Again, 100,000, but a little bit beefier, a little bit more horsepower. Awesome, awesome mods. Under potato technology, now I will say before I move on any further, there are some categories that are light on the mods or they don't exist at all. For those cases, we'll just skip over those. Did I buy the harvester? I did not. There it is, way in the back. Alright, potato technology, the only one we have here. The Grimme Veritron 470 Platinum Terra Track. $495,000. This one's expensive, just like all these kind of potato and sugar beet harvesters are, but it's because of how intricate and large they are. Of the mods, this is pretty much the only one that's out there. So less than 10,000 liter capacity. You also have this one here. It just basically creates a lower price point for potato harvesting on a larger scale, but this one has a bigger capacity, hence more money, also a little bit higher in horsepower. But this is a mod. My favorite mods, not my favorite models. So mods, this one here. Now, beet technology belongs to the Homer Pterodas T440, and that is from the Homer Pterodas T440 mod. And you can see 626 horsepower, 45,000 liters of capacity. Again, straightforward mod, straightforward model, very nice. Under sugarcane technology, we have the Case Osthoff 8800 Highline multi-row. I can talk, I promise you. But basically, it's a remodel of the one that we already have. You can see both of these look almost identical. So this one a little bit more glossy, but you get so much more with this. You can change the type of wheels that you have, the window tint, you can put a number to it, you can have a toolbox, a fire extinguisher, stickers for you can remove them or keep them if you want. Attachments. This one is cool. So in the back here you can see there's no hitch available for this, so you'd have to follow along and trail it with another vehicle and another trailer. But now you can add a hitch or an extended hitch. Very cool for 1,200 bucks. And then colors. So all in all, very nice mod. And the colors that you can pick, check it out. You got a really good array of colors. Balers, we only have from the Vermeer pack, and again, this is for mods. This is not for DLC content or expansion content, anything like that. This is specifically mods that have been made by the community. So nothing available in this category. Under cotton technology, we've got the John Deere CS70 SH12F. This one is an amazing mod. Love this one. Mainly because if you look at just the standard harvester, check that out. Not that wide. It takes a long time, goes back and forth, 10,000 liter capacity for each one of the bales. It just takes forever. But this one here, look at the difference between the first one I showed and this one. The width is massive. A 11.5 meter width versus a 6 meter, so almost double the width on this one here. Awesome, just love it. And you get options for wheel brands, wheel setups. You can do window tinting, mirror design. You can change up your mirrors and have a number. Awesome. Oh, and we don't have any more room, so I'll go ahead and cut away real quick, move all these out of the way, and that way we can spawn more stuff. Alright, so you can see we cleared out everything. We made room for the big John Deere here. Now, Grape technology. We have the Arrow Grape Liner Series 7000. This one is pretty close to our standard New Holland that we have over here. Just some slight differences. It's not that not that much different from it, but the one thing I will say is the loading and unloading mechanism on this one is very nice because it loads and unloads from the side, so you kind of have an easier time lining things up rather than trying to get to the rear of the New Holland. This one you can actually do kind of a kitty corner kind of unloading, or side-by-side loading, I should say. You can have a larger capacity, so you can change it from a 2,200 liter to a 3,000 liter. You can also change your engine size from 175 to 204 with various speeds. So you can do either a 15 mile an hour version or a 24 mile per hour version. And then change up your tires. That's pretty much it. Olive technology, there really isn't here anything that's too special under the olive technology, so this one's going to be blank for now. Forestry machines, favorite one here for tops is the Komatsu 911.4. The reason I love this one is a nice starting point for price. So if you're looking to do forestry and you want to have something cheaper, but it's something that it has all the bells and whistles, this is the mod you want. 180,000 to start out with, 228 horsepower, and can handle 64 centimeter round trees. Now the great thing about this one is 64, remember that number. The most recent addition for the Platinum DLC was the Komatsu 911.5, and that one can handle 65 centimeters, so 1 centimeter smaller. 1 centimeter, that's it. And it has the same functionality as the Platinum DLC and base game models. It does the auto targeting, it does self-leveling. Like this is actually a really cool mod. Very simple to set up. You can either choose different tire brands, you can do different wheel types if it's available, wheel setups that is, and then you can change between Komatsu and Valmet. So you can choose either or, and yeah, it's great because you can, like I said, it does self-leveling, so it keeps the cabin all nice and straight even if the pitch of the rest of the vehicle is way off. It's a great model. $180,000. Under animals, my favorite vehicle here is the Lizard Sadie. This one is really nice because this works kind of like the Forage pickup, in the fact that you can just pretty much pick up anything off the ground and put it into the belly of the trailer. So very, very awesome. So here it is. This is what it looks like. It looks like a Forage mixer, but without the mixers. And you can choose between different tire brands. You can do different wheel setups. Now you can choose a different cover for the tub here. You can do clear plastic, frosted plastic, tinted glass, tint main, so you can see how it kind of has that orange hue to it, tint design, which is the design color, solid main, so you don't have a view inside the tub. You can do the solid design, back to clear plastic. So a lot of variability there. You can have different stickers on your tub to where you can have minimal, or you can have a whole bunch of stuff for cleaning. You can do something for animals. Like, again, cool stuff. You can have a trailer attachment put onto it. And fill configurations, you can do standard, which is 25,000 liters, which is pretty good size for the tub there, or 50,000 in the extended, or 100,000 in the Unreal. So you do have the options there. It's very nice. Now, crop protection. My favorite one here is this, the John Deere 4940 self-propelled sprayer. The reason that I love this one is that it does everything that a sprayer slash spreader should do. And why do I say that? Check this out. So you can buy the unit by itself. You can choose different wheel brands, all fine and dandy. Starfire, fine, doesn't do anything again for us on consoles, but you can have fenders, beacons, and look at this, Spray Star or Spread Star. Well, what does that mean? One has a bit of a higher price, but they'll come into play here in just a moment. You can have numbers, and that's it. Now, If we click on the combinations button, the right thumbstick, I'll check it out. You can have a 120-foot boom for sprayers, so this thing will do liquid fertilizer and herbicide. And then you can also attach a dry box, which will do solid fertilizer and lime. And check out the capacities. 4,712 is the maximum capacity for the liquids, and for the dry you've got 19,200. But here's the best part. Look at the mile per hour, the working speed for this. It spreads at 32 meters and runs at 24 miles an hour when working. You can get a field done so fast with this set of equipment. It's awesome. Love this one. And again, 19 miles an hour at 36.6 meters width. That, again, huge. 120 feet. It's huge. You get so much done so fast. And if you're doing the herbicide, awesome. And check it out. It does spot spraying. So if you have the oh, it's not the Platinum Edition. It's the why can't I think of it? Precision farming. That's what it is. If you have precision farming, you can utilize that. So, that took a little bit longer than I wanted to or feel comfortable with. So, slurry tankers. There's nothing available here, so we're going to skip this one. Mowers. Favorite, the Krone Big Big M 450 with PTO. Same exact model as the one to its left, and this is found under the Mowers and Wrappers with Hitch mod. Now, great thing about this, we turn around, pivot to the backside, you actually have a functioning hitch in the rear. So, and a PTO, so you can actually hook up balers, you can hook up trailers, all sorts of stuff to this particular piece of equipment, and really kind of get a more universal use for this one set of equipment. You can have different engine sizes starting with the 549, or you can go up to 603, different wheel brands and different colors. So again, very, very nice unit right here. Very nice mod. Love it. Now, under front loaders, I don't typically use front loaders, so I don't have a favorite for this one. And we all have the base game stuff, so, and the Kubota pack as well here, so it's just not anything that I really tend to use. So no favorites for that one. Wheel loaders, though, that's a different story. The New Holland W190D. This one is one of my favorites. Now, I used to really love this one, the Lizard Motors wheel loader. Now, I used to really like this one because this had a light configuration to where you could really kind of brighten up the horizon and really see what you're doing, but it's so wobbly, so jarring sometimes that you can't really use it. So it gets really finicky when you've got heavy weights on it and all that stuff. So I kind of moved away from it and moved to this one for, what is that, 11,000 more. You get just a little bit of reduction, about 66 horsepower less, but it works. The mod works, and that's what's important. Nothing much to switch up here. It's just a standard, New Holland wheel loader. That's pretty much it, and that's all you really need. Now, under telehandlers, this one, for anybody who's followed me for a while, this one should be obvious. This one is my go-to, the Liebherr TL4367. I love this wheel loader. It handles really nice. It's responsive. It does what you want it to do. The only problem, the only thing I cannot stand about this particular mod is this front grille. You can see there's an option for the front grille. If you activate it, there it is. But if you deactivate it, it's still there. It still exists, and you can bump things with the grill there. It just doesn't appear to be there, but you'll start pushing things around, not realizing that, hey, that bar is still there. It's still a part of the physics, just not part of the visuals. And that's kind of the bad thing about this mod, but that's why I always get it with the front grille on. Because other than that, it's a very good kind of squatty telehandler, and it's very predictable as to how it's going to handle. Some of the other wheel loaders and stuff, they kind of bounce around when you get loads on them. They don't handle weights that well. This one does a really good job. If you get a weight with a pin hitch on it, you can put it up with a pin hitch and you have additional weight over the rear axle and can pick up just that much more stuff. So great mod, love this one. You can see we're starting to fill up the yard again. Now under skid steers, my favorite one here, Massey Ferguson 711, 25,000 to start. Check it out. You could get the starting base game one for 35,000 for 68 horsepower, or 25,000, 108 horsepower, and same amount of miles per hour. But this one has a trick up its sleeve. You can have configuration skid steer loader, front loader. You can use front loader tools on this particular set of equipment. So this one is top notch in my opinion because of that. You can do wheel brands, wheel setups, and designs. You can have one with a sunshade or forestry, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it with this one. You can change colors if you want. There it is in the back there. And now we're starting to get down to our last few here. Under forklifts, we have the Lizard LZ45. Now this one again has a little trick up its sleeve. Under configurations, you can get it with a trailer hitch, which means if you have a weight that can hook onto a trailer hitch, then you can add more weight and thus have a little bit more stable of a ride. You can have safety lights and change colors. Now the trick up this one's sleeve, which I really like, whoops, go ahead and come over here. So typical up, down, left, right, but look at that. You can extend out the pallet forks here and get multiple crates on the same load. So you can have one crate right here and another one right here. Or if you don't want to do multiple, close it up and you're done. Awesome, right? Love it. Let's get back up on my perch. There we go. Now under cars, this one goes to the TLX 2022 series. Love this mod. This mod is kind of the perfect bridge between the TLX 2020 and the TLX 3500. And what do I mean by that? This vehicle has the very similar build as the 3500. It's a little bit smaller, but not by much. So you kind of get that big, tough, aggressive looking truck that you would get with the 3500, but in the 2022 you also get the handling and the maneuverability that the 2020 has, the small baby truck. Now the 3500 at speed is sometimes so unmanageable. It just starts sliding around everywhere, doing its own thing. I've always had an issue with the 3500, but the 2022, love this one. And you can get it in different types here. You can do it with a tailgate. You got the cruiser tailgate. You can also do it with a mesh tailgate, an open chassis, so you can use trailers with the gooseneck on them. You can do the workhorse, so you get the front grille there. You can also do the weekend warrior with the tonneau cover, the big, or that's not a tonneau cover, that's a solid cover there. You got the off-road package with the roll bar and the snorkels and the big bumper. But one thing that doesn't make sense to me is the off-road package with a mesh net. The only reason that doesn't make sense to me is that without the tailgate in the back of the truck, you're going to get more articulation in the rear of the bed, and then you're going to deform the entire frame rails with that much articulation if you're actually taking this off-road. So Just a little sidetrack and kind of a side note. But yeah, great vehicle right here. Absolutely love it. And we are out of space. So I'm going to cut away again, move some of these vehicles, and make some room. Alright, and the last category, miscellaneous, goes to the wheelbarrow. Now, maybe a little anticlimactic for an ending, but I really enjoy this mod. This one kind of makes it to where some of those smaller maps that we have available to us, where there's you know, places and tight areas that you want to be able to get into with like a trailer or whatnot, but it's almost impossible unless you have all the skills to be able to get into them. Well, this now makes it possible. This little wheelbarrow here is, for all intents and purposes, just a self-driving trailer. That's essentially all it is. And you can take it from point A to point B, and just a few hundred liters will get you, get you where you got to go. You can do 300 liters, and it does all the standard crop types. So yeah, gotta like that. But that is the collection. Those are all the vehicles that would make my tops for each categories. Next, you're going to see the top tools, and then part 3, top objects. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. That shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. That being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.